Me and the baby?
Do you still think there might be a family connection between you, Kate Walker?
Well, all I know is that my family on my mother's side came from Europe. Well, like a lot of New Yorkers, right? I don't know from where exactly, but... And then there's the music box my mother left me, which it turns out plays the Wagner anthem. I mean, it all seems so magical. Almost like destinies at play.
Or a coincidence, Kate Walker. The law of coincidences states that the more an individual is liable to believe in coincidences, the more coincidences happen to them.
But then there's the fact, Oscar, that everyone keeps telling me Dana and I look so much alike.
What do you plan on doing now, Kate Walker?
According to the diary, Dana left for a sanatorium outside of town. The records might tell what became of her and her baby. But before we go, there's something that's been bothering me.
What is it, Kate Walker?
The pogrom that Frau Heigl told us about, the one during which the house and the neighborhood were ransacked, happened in 1938, if I recall correctly. Dana said that she was leaving for the sanatorium for a few months at the end of 1937.
Indeed, Kate Walker. So it is very likely she was safe and sound over there when the pogrom occurred.
Yes, but what if she was home with her baby? I need to be sure before we leave for the sanitarium, Oscar. We need to search the neighborhood for more evidence.
All right, Kate Walker. Where you lead, I will follow. As long as you don't forget your bag.
Trust me, Oscar. You're the only friend I've got right now. I ain't losing you.
这是该走了吧？找出大屠杀的信息。
It stops just before Dana left for the sanitarium, in the winter of 1937. Oh, Mom. I hope I haven't overlooked anything in Dana's room.
You can always come back later for another look around, Kate Walker.
先去20号再看一眼。
I'm sorry I couldn't help you, Fraulein.
现在是不是要走还是怎么着？
Huh. According to that
turn on.
book, the pogrom occurred at the beginning of November 1938.
1935年9月15日，反瓦根人法律通过。38年的3月12号，奥斯特陶被赫影会占领。38年11月9号，当晚赫影会组织了一场针对瓦根人社区的大屠杀，特别是针对在 针对住在瓦根迷雾之桥上的人。43年10月30日，盟国宣布后援会对奥斯特陶和奥地利的占领是无效的。45年4月13号，由红军领导的盟军在对瓦根进行秘密轰炸后将其解放。45年4月28号，奥斯特陶宣布独立。
That's a good clue, I guess, but I need to find more. Keller, Meyer, Ortel. I'm getting close. Otto, Pfeiffer. What if... Some of the names are covered up with dirt. How could I clean it? Wrong one. No, I don't think so. Vogt? Weiss? Dana isn't mentioned here. Ackerman? Fisher? Jorge? I can't find Dana here. Keller. Meyer. Ortel. I'm getting close. Some of the names are covered up with dirt. How could I clean it? Threats, riddled with misspellings and signed, Frank Hoss, that member of the Brown Shadow who had it in for Leon at the refuge. Looks like he never forgave them, and was after Dana during the pogrom.
Indeed, Kate Walker, but the very existence of this message could mean she wasn't home when those tragic events occurred.
Come on, Oscar, we need to find more clues. So, According to that letter, Dana was supposed to stay at the sanatorium until December 1938. Looks like there were medical complications.
亲爱的罗兹先生，请接受我由衷的感谢。齐默先生代表您为我们机构进行了新的捐赠，因此我很高兴地通知您，按照您的要求，达娜可以一直在本院待到1938年12月。鉴于她的健康情况的恶化，这是最合理的做法。请放心，我们会继续好好照顾她。简上。
We're getting close, but it's not enough to draw conclusions yet. Dana's initials.
We were on the other side of this wall earlier, Kate Walker.
It's like we've gone through a looking glass.
I do not understand, Kate Walker.
Forget it. I don't know what I'm saying.
If you say so, Kate Walker.
有这块破手绢就能擦掉墓碑上的污渍了，我们可以出去了。
Dana isn't mentioned here. Keller, Meyer, Ortel. I'm getting close. Anton and Lena Rose. Dana's parents. Oh God, they were killed during the pogrom.
Is Dana Rose also mentioned?
It doesn't look like it, no. But I need to be sure. I think that's it, Oscar. We know that the pogrom occurred at the beginning of November 1938. Dana's parents, Anton and Lena, were killed, that's certain. But Dana was supposed to be at the sanatorium back then.
Which seems to be confirmed by that message Herr Hoss left in the house, Kate Walker.
Exactly. So I guess we're done here, Oscar. Let's take the tram back to the guest house. We'll try to find that sanitarium first thing tomorrow.
走，接着回旅馆。
So, there she is. The famous Kate Walker.
Sorry, what?
Dana Rose.
这又是谁呀
I knew her very well, you know. Our Dana darling. Waiting for the tram, aren't you? Well, we'd be better off speaking at the guest house. I hear there's a storm coming. Pleased to make your acquaintance, Miss Walker. Colonel Blake.
Colonel Blake or Fraulein Junta?
这个人就是
Connecting the dots.
当初拿
are
摄
we?
像机拍照
You're
那
a
个人，
very
应该
clever
是。
young woman. But you must be eager to know why I'm here in front of you, bearing the surname of one of Her Majesty's military officers. But here's our tram. Would you be so kind? So, Miss Walker, you've been rather quiet. I would have thought you'd have some questions for me. No?
I read that you used your prestige as an artist to spy on the Brown Shadow for the UK before and during the war. So, what is your real name then? Junta Steinhoff or Colonel Blake?
Janice Blake is my name, Miss Walker. It's not the sort of name the Brown Shadow would have trusted, I'm sure you'll agree. So I took my mother's maiden name as an alias. Both my parents were diplomats from Austria, you see.
So you were some kind of double agent.
You make it sound more romantic than it really was, miss. But yes, I guess one could say so.
You mentioned the guest house. Are you that other guest I heard about?
Indeed, Miss Walker. It's actually Frau Wagner who told me about you. When she told me that you were looking for Dana, I knew I had to talk to you. Frau Wagner told me to call the academy, which I did, and the rector then redirected me towards the Bridge of Mists. And that's how I ended up wandering up and down it, asking about a mysterious American woman with a painting.
I guess you have new information about Dana for me?
I might very well indeed, Miss Walker, but what if you told me first what that little investigation of yours has dug up about Dana?
I know Dana was
我们一个
very
一个地
concerned
问。
about Leon being on the run after the death of that scientist, Herr Berger. I can't blame her. How could he survive through the winter all alone in the mountains in a strange country?
How could he? That's exactly the right question, Miss Walker. That origin expedition in Baltayar. What a mess that was.
I discovered today that Dana became pregnant that summer of 37. Leon was the father. So her parents decided to hide her in a sanatorium outside town. Which, I assume, saved her from the night of the Brown Shadow pogroms in Vagen.
You assume right, but her parents, on the other hand,
Yes, I heard they didn't make it.
poor bastards, if you'll pardon my French.
So, that's basically all I know. Can you tell me what happened to Dana after she left for the sanatorium to have her baby?
I must confess, Miss Walker, that I was afraid you might overlook some of the painful information here, which is clearly the case.
What do you mean?
I Look, I think it would be best if we stay in this carriage until the very end. I know it is an odd request to make, but you really must see this for yourself.
Well,
Until then, I recommend you look outside the window. I guarantee it'll be worth your while.
啊？哦，吓我一跳，我以为怎么开水里去了。哇，太高级了，还水陆两用呢。
I'm sorry, Miss Walker, but chasing you around that bridge was more exhausting than I thought.
that's okay. I can wait.
Ah, nonsense. I know how eager you are to find out about Dana. So you go first. I'll meet you at section 08. I'll come meet you there.
Can't you just tell me what we're doing here?
I know it must seem cruel, speaking in riddles and keeping up all this mystery like a bloody fortune teller. But I promise, you must see for yourself.
Okay then.
And don't forget, miss, section 08. Find it, and I'll meet you there.
Oof. Cold as hell here.
瓦根大天鹅不仅是我们小镇不朽的象征，它们也是活生生的脆弱生物，所以请不要投喂天鹅，错误以及不受控制的投喂可能会导致疾病，并可能会致死。
How the heck do I get myself into these situations? These ruins, they look like they're from the Middle Ages or something. There's something sinister about all this.
Have no fear, Kate Walker. The sun's setting, and you're all alone in an isolated and derelict place. Statistically speaking, it is highly improbable that you'll meet anybody, good or bad?
Thank you, Oscar, but please do me a favor. Stop trying to reassure me, would you?
As you wish, Kate Walker.
哎，这是庄园。
Grim. This place gives me the creeps. Looks like...
这是墓地吧？
Oh, jeez.
啊，果然，应该是墓地。
What is it, Kate Walker?
This place, it's a cemetery, Oscar. I think Dana's... Oh my God, she must have...
Don't jump to hasty conclusions yet, Kate Walker. Is there anything that requires my assistance? Is there anything that requires my assistance?
I'm gonna need you to be my eyes, Oscar.
Will do. Just call me whenever you need directions. So, the bag, again.
I know, Oscar. I know.
Obviously, you do not, Kate Walker.
把它放这是什么意思？找到捐赠者的名牌。哦，我可以切换了。
A cemetery. Oh my God. Illegible. Something's missing here. It seems to have to do with the gates. That doesn't work. A dead end. I'll have to go back. Oscar?
Let's see.
Section F. It's not here. I need directions. Impossible to read.
欧区在左上角，但是支线是找名牌，这什么意思？
The undertakers must have forgotten it. It seems so old. This place must be centuries old. I recognize some of the names here. Pretty interesting. But I should get back to what I was doing.
那直接去欧区吧。
Section P. Illegible.
这边就是欧区。
Section O. That's it. Anna Rose, 1938. Gone to a better place.
他的女儿死了吗？
What happened?
Dana's health had deteriorated at the sanatorium. Her coughing fits, the pregnancy, and all the stress about Leon being on the run out there in Baltayar. It was just too much for her to bear. The doctors had to put her to sleep before her delivery. There were complications, and when she woke up, her parents told her the terrible news. They had already buried the baby girl.
How come the Brown Shadow didn't go after Dana? They controlled Ostertal back then, right?
Oh, they would have eventually, believe me.
And afterwards?
Dana became sterile because of the complications during childbirth. So she remained at the sanatorium a few months more. She was devastated, poor darling.
That's how she survived the pogroms.
Yes, but that didn't mean she was safe.
So what happened afterwards?
Dana lost everything. Her parents, her baby, Leon. I think she would have just given up if I hadn't been there that day. But I had to go to London. Back then, I used to get invited every year or so to all kinds of artistic events. I could then make out my report to the British Secret Service without arousing the Brown Shadow's suspicion. So I took Dana with me to save her from them. Dana stayed in London for about 6 years. I found her a flat and a position with my real employer, the Foreign Office. She had no family, no friends, and in a way she had no life. She spent every minute she had in the office fighting in her own way against those who took everything from her. She went from one promotion to another, and soon she was among those in charge of coordinating all the resistance fighter groups pertaining to the different occupied countries of Europe.
All right, Dana. Focus. The Admiralty needs us to spot the enemy units on the map according to the reports they provided.
我去，一艘潜艇仍被安置在北海，部署在凯尔特海的3艘潜艇中，2艘已经前往色堡，一艘潜艇离开色堡，与位于北大西洋的布雷斯特附近的另一艘潜艇会合。我去，这太难了。 部守在凯尔特海的3人艘，2艘已经前往色堡。
2,000 years later.
That's it.
这
I
个要
guess.
是没提示可难死了。
Yunta!
Dana, darling, you can use my real name here, you know.
Sorry, but I just can't get used to it. For me, you'll always be Ginger Yunta.
Charming. I'm sure I have Lenny to thank for that, hmm? You were always too soft on that little brat.
Maybe. I guess. Anyway, what are you doing here? So glad to see you.
Only doing my duty, Dana, darling. A gallery invited me for a conference, so I jumped at the occasion to report back to our superiors. But it might be the last time for a while, I'm afraid. It's getting very hard to leave the occupied territories, even for a famous so-called pro-brown shadow artist like me. Anyway, how have you been since my last visit?
Well, with Leon being missing and probably lying dead somewhere in Baltayar for the past 7 years, and what happened to my parents, you know how I feel. But it's all beginning to feel like a dream, Yunta. A distant dream. Especially her. And I don't want it to, you know, I don't want her, my sweet Anna, to just fade away. I'm sorry, Yunta, but could we please change the subject?
Of course, darling.
What is it?
More work for you, actually.
Oh?
Yes. The Allies need someone for an operation with the Resistance in occupied territory, and they think it should be you. But truth be told, Dana, I'm not sure that's such a good idea.
Why not? I did volunteer for field operations. They've trained me a lot for that.
I know, Dana, but this operation will happen in Ostertal, right next to Vagen, actually.
I see.
Look, you don't need to answer me this minute. And no one would blame you if you declined the mission. We all know you don't only have happy memories of Vagen. You still have time to think it over. But before you give your final answer, they need you to identify the resistance group that will execute the operation. It's all explained here. And of course it's all top secret stuff. So you must cross-reference the documents right here in this room. You'll have to use that thing over there.
But I don't know how to use it.
I'm sure that's easy for you. You have such a clever mind, my little virtuoso. I'll see you later.
Well, let's get cracking then.
又解谜吗？绝密啊！罗兹探员，我们需要志愿者在一个被占领的国家与抵抗组织进行一次小心的行动。一个你非常了解的国家——奥斯特陶。如果你接受此任务，你将被送到瓦根附近，这样你就可以协调进行一个救出平民的行动。 把它带到瑞士，为此你将由该地区的一个主要抵抗网络护送。该抵抗网络在过去几年中取得了优异的成绩，无论你是否接受此任务，我们今天都需要你从奥斯特岛所有活跃的小型地下组织把该网络辨认出来。出于保密的原因，你在完成辨认任务之前不得离开办公室。我们已允许你临时使用工作站的气动电报机，这是一位法国工程师为我们提供。作为他对战争的贡献，这台机器将允许你索取你可能需要的任何相关文件。我们祝你好运。
That must be for mixing the correct proportions of rarefied air in the system with the compressed air. Compressed air. I think I need to get the mixture right, paying close attention to the rarefied air. The most widely used Allied single-seat fighter plane. I probably owe it my life, like all of us here. We're snowed under. The paperwork is piling up, and problems with it. I guess winning a war takes time. And it's something we cruelly lack. Silly me. Can't be it. Better try something else. Right. Let's see.
Oh.
Can't be that underground network. Not this one either. The information doesn't tally with what Junta said.
哎，这个是里昂吗？
Edelweiss? A coincidence. It must be a coincidence.
山间艺术家。
The network leader's alias.
Come here now, my pretty Edelweiss.
Don't call me that. You know I don't like it.
It's true, though. That's exactly what you are, my pretty Edelweiss.
If you keep that up, Leon Kubatis, I'll find you a nickname too.
Go on, then.
All right. I'll call you my mountain artist from now on.
里昂还活着。
Leon! He's alive. He's alive. He's alive! I need to... Oh, good grief. But how did he... Yunta! Yunta!
So Leon made it from Baltayar. But how?
I have no idea, miss. All I know is that he survived for almost a year in the mountains before coming back to Ostertal to set up the Edelweiss resistance group.
Which made Dana accept the mission you told her about back then, right?
Of course, she was given extra training and was dropped near Vagan the following summer to carry it out. We'd better get going. It looks like the storm is coming.
You go first. I'll meet you at the tram station in a minute.
Of course. Take all the time you need.
It needs a key. The Undertakers must store their tools in it.
我需要那把大镐。我想一想在哪儿。哎，这是不是出口？哎，给锁起来了。
What the heck?
What is it, Kate Walker?
The gates, they just closed. Oh, there must be a mechanism to open them somewhere.
There always is, Kate Walker.
I can't figure out where to go.
Just leave me a second.
够不着，还得先把奥斯特拿回来。
Can you bring that pickaxe closer, Oscar?
Of course, Kate Walker.
Looks like it's compatible with a bigger mechanism.
You seem disappointed, Kate Walker.
About what?
Well, correct me if I am wrong, but the fact that Dana Rose lost her baby and became sterile disproves your hypothesis that there can be a family link between you, doesn't it?
You're not wrong, Oscar, but I'm just stupidly over-optimistic. I wish I were like you, and not controlled by stupid emotions.
Nice of you to say, I guess.
Sorry, Oscar. That didn't come out so well.
达娜好像失去安娜以后，不能再生育了，很可惜。
Are you all right, Miss Walker? I'm very sorry to have brought you such bad news.
what about that mission Dana led with Leon's resistance network?
It didn't turn out well, Miss Walker. Actually, that's the reason I left London to be here.
Oh?
Yes, just a second, Miss Walker. Where did I put it? What with this blasted storm? It's all over the papers. Here, have a look for yourself.
Storm. Excavation work at Devil's Pass has been interrupted. An unexpected storm has obliged the Council to remove the bodies trapped in the ice since the Second World War and to move them to the Silberspiegel Refuge. Those frozen bodies near the refuge. I heard about them just yesterday. Do you mean...
There has been no formal identification yet, Miss Walker.
But it's plausible that...
That Leon, at least, is among those bodies, yes.
Do you think Dana could be among the bodies?
I suppose it would be logical. It would explain why I never saw or heard of her again after the mission. Yet, according to some witnesses, Dana survived the war and indeed helped resistance fighters from Wagen until the liberation. But if those testimonies were true, then Dana vanished after the war.
What happened to Leon?
According to the testimonies I've obtained, Leon was killed on that mission. The Foreign Office tasked Dana to lead an avalanche, apparently. I am one of the few people still alive to be able to identify him, which is why I'm here. If it weren't for this bloody storm, it would have been done today.
What about the other bodies?
According to the medical examiner's office, in all, 3 bodies have been extracted from the ice. The one presumed to be Leon, and 2 others, a man and a woman not yet identified.
I see.
Try to stay positive, Miss Walker. Only a visual identification will allow us to be certain. We can go as soon as this storm's over, probably tomorrow or the day after.
Right.
Miss Walker, we've arrived. But you're not coming, are you? Well, Miss Walker, you might not be related to Dana, but you bloody well certainly remind me of her.
我不太相信，我还是觉得他们有关系。
So, Instead of waiting for the storm to pass and for the official identification of the bodies, I might add, that were trapped in the ice for 6 decades, you, and by extension me, are going to climb up the mountain so you can identify them yourself.
I know, Oscar, I know. But I've just got to be sure. Because if one of those bodies turns out to be Dana,
We'll have no more trains to chase?